Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's Amanda. If you are new here and it's your first time, welcome. Welcome to another episode of The Aspiring Artist, and we are currently here with Linnea, her boyfriend Orion, and their cat Echo. And Orion was just in here checking his phone, and he saw that he had an invitation to an upcoming event from the local art gallery because Orion is registered for all of those things. If you guys remember when I first introduced him a few episodes back, I did say that he was an art lover and that he likes to go to art events and all of that type of stuff, right? And so he was just checking his phone and he saw that he has an invitation to an upcoming show at the local art gallery, right? Which is Maeva's upcoming show at that art gallery. And so he's going to come back here and he's going to tell Linnea about it while she's working on the computer. I'm gonna have Linnea go ahead and get off of the computer because he's gonna be like, hey babe, I got something that I have to show you that just came through my email, because he recognizes the name on the event invitation, right? So he's going to go ahead and show her the flyer that he got, and he's like, babe, don't you recognize that name? Isn't that like a name you mentioned recently? And Linnea is like, yeah, that's the woman I've been trying to get in contact with. That's my client's daughter name right there. And he's like, well, she's having an art gallery showing soon. And Linnea is going to be like, well, is there a +1 allowed? Can I come with you? And Orion is telling her, like, usually every event they have there, you are allowed to bring someone with you. And Linnea is like, this would be great if I can go with you and, you know, check it out and see if it's the same person. And what is Echo upset about? Echo is over here meowing up a storm. Look at her. Like I was saying, Linnea is just going to tell him this would be great if I could go to the art show with you, because then I'll have like a direct line of contact to her. She's been ignoring my calls. I've been calling nonstop, and this would just be great if I could go with you and have a direct line of contact and maybe open up the door for a conversation. And Orion is like, sure babe, yeah, it's coming up really soon. We'll go together and, you know, I can buy some nice art and you can do what you got to do for work. So Orion actually had to leave. He actually has somewhere else to be, but Linnea is just thinking like, wow, it'd be so great going to the art show and I can, you know, get to actually meet Maeva in person, because Maeva has not been answering Linnea's calls. She hasn't been answering her voicemails. I don't think Maeva has even been listening to Linnea's voicemails, to be completely honest with you. And so being able to go to this art show with Orion, yes, to look at art, but also for, you know, her business connects that she needs, would just be great for Linnea. But for now, she's actually going to come back over to her computer and work on some more things for her work day, because it is only 2 p.m. I'm gonna have her keep crafting a legal argument, but she's just really thinking like it's gonna be so great to go to the gallery show and be able to talk to Maeva directly. Now you may be thinking it's a terrible idea to confront Maeva about this at her art show, but I don't think Linnea is going to be so direct about the reason, you know, why she wants to talk to Maeva, what's going on, all of that type of stuff. I think Linnea is just looking to open up that door of contact and that door of conversation, not to directly tell Maeva the reasoning for why she wanted to be in touch with her in the first place, at least not during her gallery showing. Okay guys, so we have made it to Celestine's place, but this is also technically Carlo's place now too, because he's just kind of moved in with Celestine, right? Now, they aren't even officially dating. He still has the option to ask her to be his girlfriend, and all of that type of stuff. But Carlo has basically moved in with Celestine right now, right? He's always here. He basically lives here too, you know? And Carlo is going to go ahead and he's going to message Liana because he wants to meet up with her. Remember, Carlo and Liana are co-workers, and so he's just going to message Liana because he wants to meet up with her. And I feel like Celeste is going to ask Carlo, like, who are you texting, or like, you know, what's going on and all that type of stuff. I love how she has the option to ask him if he is single. I mean, technically he is, but you know, that is what it is. I'm going to have them have a deep conversation. And she's going to be like, who are you messaging? And Carlo's going to be like, oh, you know, just Liana, about some work things. I actually got to go out and meet up with her in a few minutes. And discuss some things for work. And I feel like Celeste is probably like, that's cool, go ahead and do what you got to do, handle your business today, because she also has to work on some things of her own anyway. So Carlo going out is completely fine with her. I feel like Celeste is just, Celeste is fine with Carlo going about his day-to-day life because she's kind of trusting of Carlo and his whereabouts, especially because he's been staying here so much recently. He's practically moved in with her, like I said. And so she's not really like questioning him all the time about where you're going, what time will you be back, especially when it's earlier in the day like this. And she knows that it's typical for him to be dealing with things for work and for the gallery and all of that. And so she's just going to tell him, like, go ahead and handle your business, and I'll see you this evening. Okay, guys, so Liana and Carlo have made it out to their, I guess, brunch date, you could call it, because it is very early in the day. And this restaurant was actually built by Raya28. I use a lot of Raya's builds in my game. And I'm going to have them go ahead and get a table inside before it gets too full. And y'all, I keep mixing up Liana, Lena, and Linnea's names constantly. Usually I try to like, cut around it or like just repeat myself again. But if I do accidentally call Liana, Linnea, just know I'm talking about Liana when it's obviously Liana on the screen, please. I don't know why I gave them all such similar names. I obviously did not think that through very well. Now, did I? Because they all sound very similar to me. I'm going to have Carlo go ahead and order for them so that they can have a nice lunch. And I'm going to have them, would they have a glass of wine in the middle of the day during what's technically supposed to be a business lunch? I feel like they would. So I'm gonna let them go ahead and get wine. Let's see. I'll have Liana get the herb crusted salmon, and then I'll have Carlo get the roast chicken. They have tons of money, even though Carlo is literally shacking up with Celeste right now, but they have tons of money in the bank, so they could technically order anything, right? Okay, I'm gonna have Carlo go ahead and just ask Liana about how things are going on her end of things with the gallery, and Liana is going to be like, things are going great, we're right on track. I did send out all of the invitations to Mavis Gallery showing, and send out everybody on our public mailing list, so anyone else she wants to invite on her end is more than welcome to come. But I sent out my end of the deal with everyone that's on our mailing list, including Orion, right? As we saw earlier, he did receive an invitation from the mailing list. And Carlo is going to be like, okay, glad to hear it's all going good. And he's going to kind of ask Linnea, like, so have you seen Mava in person? Because Carlo doesn't know if Mava paid Liana, electronically. Did they meet up in person? Anything like that? And I feel like Carlo is kind of like snooping a little bit to see, like, have you seen her in person? And Liana is like, yeah, she actually came over to my house. She paid me in person. We didn't do it electronically. And Carlo is like, oh, cool, cool. And how did that go? And Liana is going to be like, it was okay. I feel like we kind of like rubbed each other the wrong way, right? She's telling Carlo, like, when she came over, it started out okay, but I kind of let my personal feelings get in the way a little bit, and this looks poor quality. Let me turn my headline effects on real quick, guys. It is poor quality, like I thought. How is Carlos? Carlos is normal, but Liana's is nasty. Good. It's what you deserve for how you treated Mava. But either way, Liana is like, it kind of went okay until, please sit down. Okay, they did reset, so I kind of lost my train of thought there. Sorry, guys. Carlos gonna be like, you let your personal feelings get in the way. How? And Linnea's gonna be like, I kind of was thinking about, what you told me, and I maybe got a little bit snappy, and she picked up on that, and it turned into an argument, right? Carlos gonna ask her, like, what type of argument? Like, you guys were getting kind of heated, and Liana's gonna be like, yeah, a little bit. I was upset, and she picked up on that, and she also got upset with me right back, Because if you guys remember, Mava came over, paid Liana, and it turned into a little bit of a tense argument between them because Mava picked up on that Carlo had said something about her to Liana, right? And Carlo did. He told Liana about the suspicions that he has, and Liana kind of let it slip through her tone of voice that she was using with Mava. And Mava's not stupid, and she picked up on that, right? And so Carlo is going to tell Liana, like, it wasn't really your place to do that, Liana. I told you those things because I was venting and I didn't expect you to like bring any of that up to Mava. And Liana is going to be like, I didn't bring it up to her directly. She picked up on it a little bit in my tone of voice, you know what I mean? And Carlo is just like, I understand that, but it just wasn't really your place to, say anything to her about it. And you know how things are between me and Mava right now, and I really don't want you making it any worse. You know what I mean? And Liana is like, I'm sorry, it wasn't intentional. I didn't mean to make any tension. You guys already have worse. I was just kind of venting and I didn't mean to. It won't happen again. And I feel like Liana's going to kind of change the subject a little bit with Carlo because she's kind of like, I didn't mean to. I'm sorry that me and Mabel kind of got into it. And she wasn't really considering how Carlo would have felt about that, right? She didn't really consider that Carlo was maybe just venting to her and she should have kept her personal feelings about it to herself and kept her relationship with Mava strictly business, right? But she's just going to ask Carlo, so how are things going with Celeste? And Carlo's like, things are okay with Celeste. Sit back down. Come and sit right back down right here. We ain't going nowhere. Come sit right back down. They also got a pop-up saying, thanks to their compatible personalities, Liana Waters formed a positive impression towards Carlo Latham. This will help build a harmonious relationship between them. I'm sure they do have harmonious personalities. That's why he was sleeping around with her. Like, I don't doubt that at all. Either way, Liana is like, so things are going good with Celeste, and Carlos like, yeah, things are going good. Celeste is cool. We're doing okay. I've kind of been living with her, and Liana's like, why haven't you been living by yourself? Like, why have you been living with Celeste? And Carlo was like, I kind of sold my other place after everything happened with Mava. I didn't want to live there anymore, and since I was already spending time at Celeste's place, I figured why not just sell it, and I kind of just been living there with her ever since, right? And Liana is like, so then things have no choice but to be going well with her then because you'll be like homeless if you weren't living with Celeste. So why would you sell your other place, Carlo? And Carlo's like, it was an impulse decision. After things happened with Mava, I didn't want to live in my other place anymore. Because remember, Carlo was asking Mava to like move closer to him, and he had all of these dreams of them like eventually living together or at least very nearby. And when Mava ended things with Carlo, that kind of just sent him out of that mindset and he didn't want to be there anymore, right? And so he's kind of like living with Celeste right now. But it's like Liana was saying, like, of course things are going good with Celeste because he doesn't have a choice but for them to be going good with Celeste. And yes, of course, Carlo has more than enough money to be able to get another place and move out of Celeste's place and all of that type of stuff. But for right now, he's not really anywhere else but at Celeste's place. And so Liana was kind of right. Like, things have no choice but to be going good with Celeste if you are currently living with her and don't have anywhere else to be right now. And Carlo is just telling her, well, either way, things are going good right now. We're in a good spot. And I guess I'm just trying to keep it that way for right now. And he's going to go ahead and get ready to end their dinner together because he's going to head over to his family's house. He's not happy about Liana telling Mava, even though it was indirectly. He's not happy. Is this Mava's mama right here? Ignore Mava's mama, y'all. But he's not that happy about Liana telling Mava indirectly about things that happened between them because he was just venting to Liana as a friend. He's just kind of happy that things are going okay on the business end of things, even though he kind of does feel a little bit. He has this in the back of his mind that he wants to say something to Mava because they're going to be in the same place during her gallery showing, right? He has that in the back of his mind right now. He's like, that's my chance. You know what I mean? But he's not going to say that to Liana. He's just going to go ahead and in their meal. He's going to pay the bill. And y'all, I noticed that Mava Mama over here out with someone else. Who is this? Okay, Selena. I mean, she is technically going through a divorce, so hey, do you? Okay, guys, so we are currently at Carlo's family house. This build is by Ophelia. You guys should definitely check out all of Opie's content. She is such an amazingly talented creator, and you guys should definitely check out all of her stuff. And before we head in, I want to show you guys something else because this is ridiculous. Why I got like a whole city floating above Newcrest. This keeps happening on and off to me. I don't know if it's something to do with the tool mod or something like that, but this just keeps happening to me in a lot of my neighborhoods. And that's why I'm thinking about moving them all to a new save file. Maybe I just won't use the tool mod in it or something like that. I don't know what is causing this, but it is ridiculous and it happens on and off. It's not consistent. It's ridiculous. What is all this stuff floating in the sky in my world? Anyways, I'm sorry. I just had to show y'all that because it's bothering me. It's every time I look up, I got this whole little city floating in the sky. Like, what is this? Like, just look at that. Like, this is the house right here, right? I look up, whole little city floating in the sky. Either way, back to what I was saying. Let's head inside. Okay, so the whole family is sitting here at the dining room table, you know, little family meeting style. And if you guys don't remember, this is Carlo and Lena's father. This is Abner Latham, and this is their mother. This is Florence Latham. We haven't seen Florence in a little while, so I figured I'd just remind you guys quickly of who she is. This is Lena and Carlo's mother. And then, of course, we have Lena, Carlo's sister, sitting here with us as well, because Lena currently still lives with Florence and Abner right now. But I'm going to have Abner go ahead and he's going to tell them, like, are you guys ready for this show we have coming up? You guys know it's a big show and it's going to make us a lot of money. He's talking about Mave's show, right? But he's mainly talking to like Lena and Carlo, right? He's like, you guys are ready for the show we have coming up. You guys know what you need to do, what time you need to be there, all of that type of stuff, right? He wants to make sure that they're just on it, right? And where is Carlo trying to go? To clean stuff up? No, come sit down, please. Matter of fact, everybody sit down. They all had to get up and move around apparently because I told them all to sit. This is just going great. Fantastic. Okay. But Lena is probably telling them like, yeah, I'm going to be there. I know exactly what time I got to be there. You don't got to worry about me. Because remember, even though Lena is a yoga instructor, that's not where most of her money actually comes from. Most of Lena's like, you know, finances pretty much come from the family business, same as Carlos does. She makes good money being a yoga instructor and meditation teacher and all of that type of stuff, but that's not where like most of her actual spending money comes from. She definitely makes more money from the family business, them, you know, getting a big cut of the art that is sold through the gallery and all of that type of stuff, right? And so she's telling her dad, like, you don't got to worry about me. I got everything all settled. I'm definitely going to be there on time. And I want Carlo, I feel like he would tell his mom more than he would tell his dad. I'm going to have Carlo go ahead and have a deep conversation with his mom. His parents know that, you know, everything that happened with Carlo and Mava, right? But their main concern is the money. Like, they aren't concerned about Carlo's relationship problems, and he knows that. And I feel like Carlo's going to tell his mom, he's going to be like, so since Mava's going to be there, I was thinking maybe I could just say what I need to say to her there, right? And Carlo's dad hears this and he's going to be like, absolutely not. You will not. Florence is going to be like, Abner, let him talk. He just wants to talk. And Abner is going to be like, no, absolutely not. You will not be bringing your little petty relationship problems into work. And Lena is like, that's what I was trying to tell him before. Like, stop bringing your relationship problems everywhere with him. And Abner is like, you will not be bringing your relationship problems into work with you. Whatever you need to say to that girl, you can say it to her off the clock, basically. He's like, do not bring that crap to the gallery with you. You will not ruin tomorrow for us. You will not ruin the money that she's going to bring in for us. Because that is mainly everyone else's main concern, besides Carlo, apparently. Their main concern is the money that they are going to make off of Mava having her gallery show, because they're getting such a big cut of everything that is sold, right? It is their gallery after all. And so their main concern is the money that's coming in. They don't want to hear about Carlo's relationship problems. And they're telling him basically, you better not mess it up for us either. You better not ruin any of our business connections. Do not act unprofessional. Do not sit there getting sloppy drunk. You know, none of that type of stuff can be going on there, Carlo. And Abner is going to, I'm going to have him, they're going to have an argument. Yeah, they could argue about house rules, but think of it like arguing about the business, right? Abner is telling Carlo, like, whatever little relationship problems you still have going on with this girl, I don't care. I don't want to hear it. Do not bring it to work with you. And Carlos like, I'm just saying it would be an opportunity for me to talk to her. And I was talking to mom anyway. I wasn't talking to you, dad. And Abner is like, I don't care who you were talking to directly. You're not going to do it tomorrow. Like, that's not happening, Carlo. Whatever you need to talk to that girl about, talk to her on your own time. You bring it to work, you and I are going to have a problem. And that's all I'm saying. We're going to have a problem. Lena is thinking like, Dad's right, Carlo, you know. Lena and Carlo do not have a difficult family dynamic at all. They are extremely close, extremely close. And I would never say they have a difficult dynamic just because they disagree on some things and don't see eye to eye all the time. Like, you're not going to see eye to eye with people all the time. That doesn't mean they have a difficult dynamic or anything like that. And so Lena is just going to tell Carlo, like, Carlo, that's right. Like, just tell Maeve just to come here. Like, just once and for all, just tell her to come here after the gallery show. She can come here. But don't go in there tomorrow ruining this for us. And I feel like Lena is just like, Carlo, I don't want to hear it. And Carlo is like, you guys are not understanding me. I'm not saying I'm going to just like cause an entire scene. I just see it as an opportunity. And Lena is like, Carlo, and we're telling you, take your opportunity some other time. Don't do it when we have people there that are willing to spend a lot of money, which means money for us, money for you, money for everybody. She's going to make us a lot of money at the end of the day, and it is a business relationship first before anything else. And Carlos just like, whatever, Lena, just leave me alone. And Florence is going to be like, both of you, leave him alone. And I feel like she's going to say it directly to Lena. I'm going to have Florence go ahead, and Florence is going to be like, you know what, both of you, leave him alone. And Lena's like, Mom, no, they don't have a difficult dynamic. No. Florence is like, both of you, leave him alone. Enough. And Abner is like, Florence, nobody's bothering him. We're just telling him, don't mess this up for us. Do not mess up the money that is going to be made off of this. Nobody cares about his little petty relationship problems. And I feel like Florence is probably like, I never liked that girl anyway. I'm just saying, because if you guys think back to like the Christmas party, when Florence was introduced to Maeve, she didn't like Maeve at all. She said something to the effect of like, I don't think we're meant to be friends or something like that. And was upset because Maeve can't cook, child. Like, it was ridiculous. So I feel like Florence is probably like, I never liked the girl anyway. So Carlo's going to be like, I just need to go outside and just get some fresh air, because right now he's feeling a little bit angry. He feels like he lost the argument with his sister, and he's also angry with his father, and he's going to be like, I'm just going to go outside and just get some air. Because Carlo is feeling like the whole family just like attacked him. He feels like only his mom had his side, right? He feels like only his mom had his back, and he feels like Lena and Abner just kind of like attacked him and didn't even hear his side of things. And not is raining, gonna make it sunny. He's sitting out here and he's just thinking like, why did they all just have to get upset at me? Like, what did I say wrong? Like Carlo isn't even thinking about the money, which is what he should be thinking about, because that's how they make their living. And it's true that Maeve's sales are going to bring in a lot of money for them. And him just going there and acting a fool, starting an argument with Maeve is not going to do anyone any good. It's going to tarnish their business relationships. It can tarnish, the sales, which affects their money for all of the things that they love to have and to live comfortably. And so Lena's going to come outside here because she feels like her and her father was right. Like, she loves Carlo dearly, but Lena feels like Carlo can let his emotions, and I'm sitting here smoking, seeing. Lena feels like Carlo can kind of let his emotions take over, and he doesn't think clearly about what's important and about what matters. And he's like, I'm done. I just needed to unwind a little bit, Carlo's going to be like, I feel like you threw me under the bus in there, like you didn't have my back when you were the one who, reached out to Mabel for me in the first place. And then when I tried to take it into my own hands, you took mom and dad's side on it and just kind of, dad's side. You took dad's side on it and just kind of threw me under the bus. And Lena's like, Carlo, I did not throw you under the bus. I'm just saying that you need to think about what's best for all of us, not just about what's best for yourself. And Carlos like, I'm not trying to sabotage anything for everyone else, Lena. I'm just saying, I never said I was going to do anything ridiculous. I just said that it was an opening for a conversation. And Lena's like, Carlo, we know how you get emotionally. It would not just be an opening for a conversation. You would make an entire scene and ruin everything for everybody, Carlo. I did not throw you under the bus. You know I always have your back. Always. When have I never not had your back, Carlo? Which is true. Lena always has Carlo's back. Always. She's always there for him. She always has his back. And Carlo knows that. He's just upset. He knows that Lena would never intentionally want to embarrass him, anything like that. You know, Carlo knows that. He's just feeling frustrated right now. And he's taking it out on Lena. And Lena is not having that because she's like, when have I ever not had your back? Lena has always had her brother's back. Always. Like, yeah, you know, she may say some things about him when she's like talking to Maeva or like talking to other people. But at the end of the day, Lena has always had Carlo's back. No matter, you know, what type of silly stuff she says in other conversations about him, whatever. She's always going to be there for Carlo. And Carlo knows that. And I want Carlo, let's see, can he apologize to her? I'm going to have him express admiration. You know, like being like, I'm sorry, I'm just upset and I'm just really frustrated because things just aren't going the way that I hoped they would go. And Lena's going to be like, it's okay, just know that I always have your back, you know? And Carlo's going to try to brighten Lena's day because he is sorry for like lashing out at her like that, right? It is definitely like displaced anger in a way. And Lena's like, it's okay, just know that I wasn't trying to attack you just for the sake of doing it. And Carlos is going to kind of change the subject. He's going to be like, so mom told me that you may be getting ready to, you know, have a little relationship yourself. Because Florence was kind of yapping to Carlo a little bit about Lena having visitors over, being Mace. You guys remember Mace from a few episodes back. We will go deeper into Lena and Mace's relationship later on in the story. Lena's probably like, who told you that I had a visitor over? Mom. And Carlos like, she may have mentioned it, that you had some guy over. And Lena's like, I did. It wasn't really her business to tell, but I did. Let's have them go ahead and just hug it out. They kind of lighten the mood a little bit by, you know, him teasing her a little bit about having dates and things like that and having visitors over to the house. And it's all love between them at the end of the day. And Lena's going to go ahead and come back in and she's going to message Maeva and ask if she could stop by. As you guys see, her and Mace do actually have a little bit of a romance bar now, and they have pretty good compatibility as well. But I also noticed her and Amani have a awful relationship, which is kind of funny to me because I don't know what type of beef they would even have with each other. Apparently that time they all went out together, Amani must have rubbed Lena the wrong way or something, right? But she's going to go ahead and she's going to text Maeva and ask if she could stop by because she wants to talk to Maeva herself, because Lena is feeling like this is just so ridiculous. Like the whole family's arguing now, right? And it's just ridiculous. And she wants to talk to Maeva herself. Okay, guys, so we are finally here. She's going to go ahead and she's going to get a bottle of wine for her and Lena to be able to share while she's here. Maeva has been recuperating her money from what she spent on the art show. She does have almost $8,000 right now, which is fantastic, but I don't want her spending it on a $900 bottle of wine. Like, definitely not. I'm going to go ahead and put this into her inventory, and then I'm going to have them come outside. I'm going to have Maeva get out the wine, and then we're going to have her go ahead and give Lena a hug, because her and Lena haven't seen each other in a little bit. It's been a couple of days, I imagine. And so I'm going to have her go ahead and give Lena a hug. Oh, and y'all, Leandro did stop by again. I did put pictures of it on my Tumblr about a week ago, but just really quick. Leandro did stop by to see Maeve again, and y'all, she was entertaining it. I'm sorry, but she was entertaining it. She hasn't seen him since then, but she was entertaining it. He stopped by autonomously, came over, wanted to chat and all that, and they was sitting out here yapping, y'all. Like, please. But she's been strong since then. He hasn't stopped by since then, but he did stop by again, y'all. I was disappointed in her, but it's all right. But I'm gonna have her go ahead and, you know, greet Lena and be like, hey, I got a bottle of wine. If you wanted to sit down and have a drink or something, and I'm gonna have them grab a drink together. And Maeva's gonna ask Lena, like, so what's up? I'm happy you stopped by, but is everything okay? You know, like, what's going on? Like, I'm happy to always, you know, hang out with you and everything, but because if you guys remember, Maeva did have a want to, you know, talk to Carlo's father, and all of that. And I feel like Mava does miss Carlo's family and the relationship she was beginning to form with his parents, and the friendship that she does have with Lena is very important to her as well. And so she's just asking her, like, is everything okay? Like, what's going on? And Lena's like, yeah, everything's okay, but I just wanted to talk to you about something, right? And Mava's like, okay, sure, like what's on your mind? And I'm gonna have them have a deep conversation. And Lena's gonna be like, look, I like you a lot, Mava. I like our friendship. I like hanging out with you. I love spending time with you. I'm happy you introduced me to Mace. Like, he's really cool, all of that, right? I really do value like the time that we spend together and all that, right? She's like, but the thing is, my brother he's not doing great, okay? He's just not. He's just really struggling with all of this. And while I love our friendship that we have, I love hanging out with you, that's my brother, and I'm going to pick him every single time. Lena's telling her like, that's my brother, I love him, and I'm not okay with him just being so hurt all the time. Like, that's really bothering me. And whatever y'all need to work out, you need to handle it. Lena's gonna be like, now, me and my dad saved you from probably what would have been a mess during your gallery show, but you need to work it out with my brother. Whatever it is, you need to work it out and handle it with him, because that's my brother. I'm always gonna pick him at the end of the day. And I'm not okay with how hurt he's been. I'm not okay with watching him, constantly dealing with this and his mind going back and forth about it. It's enough. And I just want him to be okay. May's gonna tell Lena like, look, I'm sorry that you guys keep getting brought into this. I'm sorry that he brought it to your parents. Like May doesn't really know what to say to Lena about why she's been avoiding Carlo. She doesn't know how to explain to Lena that she feels guilty for how she treated Carlo. She doesn't know how to explain to Lena that she's nervous about seeing Carlo face to face. She doesn't know how to explain to Lena that in the back of her mind, she feels like she made a careless mistake. And she doesn't really know how to express that to Lena without feeling stupid. And so she's just telling Lena, like, I'm sorry that you keep getting dragged into this, and I'll talk to him at the show. And Elena's like, do not talk to him about this at the show, whatever y'all got going on. She's gonna be like, I told him to tell you to come to our parents' house after that, And May's gonna be like, yeah, I can do that. I can go to your parents' house. And she means it this time. Like, Mava does mean it this time, that she will go to their parents' house and chat with Carlo, because he's not going to be able to do it at Celeste's place. There's no way she's going to let that happen, Like, Carlo wants to stay in good with Celeste, and he doesn't want Celeste even knowing about all of this, right? Like, not any more than what he told her at the New Year party, basically, They're going to go ahead and hug, and Lena's just going to be like, I didn't mean to come over here, acting all tough or anything like that, but I just need to get that off my chest. And May's like, I'm not upset or anything, girl. Like, you have the right to express yourself, and you have the right to be upset about constantly, having all of this thrown on you. I'm sorry. And Lena's like, well, I'm happy we had a chance to chat about it. And so Mava's gonna actually sit down and have her another glass of wine, because all of that is true. Like, Mava has been dodging Carlo because she's embarrassed. Plain and simple. Like, yes, she's afraid to tell him about everything that was going on with Leandro, and it's currently not going on, at least for right now. But she's embarrassed. She's embarrassed because of how she treated Carlo, and she doesn't know really how to properly express that to him, and she didn't want to say it to Lena. She has to face that. And I'm actually going to let her get ready for bed as well, because it's late. It's already 3 a.m. I'm having to use the bathroom, brush your teeth, all that type of stuff. And yeah, then she's going to come back here and head to sleep. It's almost 4 o'clock in the morning, and she needs to get to bed. But okay, guys, that is where I'm going to go ahead and wrap up today's episode. I really hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you all next time. Bye, guys.